What thing about you doesn't quite fit into the sockets of society? And if that thing about you is the thing that doesn't fit into the sockets of society, maybe actually we need to alter the rules of society. Hello everyone, welcome to our latest video. Today we are going to talk about life. Life. Now, how are we going to talk about life? That's pretty basic. I think actually every time I do a video I'm talking about life. What I'm going to talk about today is how we live our lives. The rules in which we place upon our lives, the things that we saw our parents do, our grandparents do, our great-grandparents do, our great-great-great-great-grandparents do. We are still doing those things. And we live in a completely different world than they do. Why do we continue to adhere to certain rules in life, even when those rules no longer serve us? Even when those rules are outdated? Even when those rules have absolutely nothing to do with living a happy, fulfilled life? What is a happy, fulfilled life? Should you go to school, get a good job, get married, have children, have grandchildren, retire, die? That's what we're supposed to do? Really? That's it? That's all? That's what we're supposed to do? What if you don't want to get married? What if you don't want that job? What if you actually think a completely different way? What if then? What do you do? Are you railing against society? Or are you actually looking what is going on inside of you and basing your decisions upon your needs, not the needs or rules of others and those who have come before you? This is the moment where I interrupt my own video to ask you if you've subscribed to my channel or if you're consuming my content. I want to know, honestly. It's not, I want to know if I'm making a difference. I'm wanting to know if my videos mean something to you. I want to know that I'm doing this correctly for you because this is what I meant to do. This is what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to give this information to you. I need to give this information to you. I want to give this information to you. So I want to know you're getting it. So please like the video or subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. And please, in the comments, let me know what you want me to cover, because I could cover everything and anything because I have access to ever so much information. So, how do you decipher between an infringement on your free will, a rule that is put into society for very, very good reason, because some of our rules are put in there for really, really good reasons. Don't kill people, good idea. Or if it is something that doesn't quite mesh with who you are as a human being, and possibly you could take that rule and make it your own, which makes a lot of sense because I think a lot of us are already doing that. A lot of us are looking at the rules of society and changing them ever so slightly for ourselves, having to do with our mental health, having to do with the feelings inside of us, having to do with who we truly believe we are. And I can use myself as an example in that manner because look what I do for a living. For a living, I communicate with people who have crossed over, for their loved ones who are still stuck here, for their survivors. I communicate with higher beings. I sure do. And I do it because I meant to, because it's a natural thing I am able to do, but it is not deemed normal. It is not seen as a legitimate profession. It is not seen by some as a reality even. There are a lot of people who do not believe in what I do for a living. And that's fine. They're allowed to not believe in what I do for a living. They're missing out, really, don't you think? But I had to push away from the rules of society because if I went through the rules of society, I would be medicated. My brain would be brought into a state of normalcy so that I no longer see, hear, and feel the dead, and because I do on a daily basis and always have my entire life. If I adhered to the rules of society, if my parents had adhered to the rules of society, I might not be what I am right now. I actually might be a person without a home, or I might be a victim of my own suicide. And I might, because what I am is natural. It's there. Whether or not society recognizes it as a valid thing, that doesn't matter. That really doesn't matter. It doesn't make me any less what I am. I am a medium, and I was born a medium, and I will always be a medium, and I sing it loud and proud. That's my difference. What's your difference? What thing about you doesn't quite fit into the sockets of society? And if that thing about you is the thing that doesn't fit into the sockets of society, maybe actually we need to alter the rules of society. Maybe we need to, we're not a feels good do it, because we all figured out that doesn't work, because human beings don't regulate themselves well enough yet. That is why we're still here, because we're souls that are trying to figure out how to be a better soul. That is why you're here. You're figuring out how to be a better you. So if the rules of how to be a better you start to flex, start to expand, start to become a little more obscure rather than arbitrary, then that real you can shine through. And if the real you gets to shine through, I benefit from that, because my goodness, how awesome that you're being your authentic self, because that way I know I can be my authentic self. And I then know that me being my authentic self does not infringe upon your ability to be your authentic self. So what steps should a person take to find their authentic self, to actually start to see why certain rules, certain things that we do, certain institutions don't work for you? Okay, we're gonna start with marriage. Marriage. You would not believe how many people come to me to find the love of their life. How many people are looking for that person, that one person who's gonna make it all worthwhile. The person who is going to love them and show them how amazing they are and be there for them and be their partner through all of it, thick and thin, and all of everything. Now, that is what we think marriage is now. Marriage actually started off as a contract. It had to do more with business than it ever had to do with love. It had more to do, a woman needed to get married or she was vulnerable. Now, women do feel they need to be married or they're vulnerable. It's financial. It is because men have been able to make more money than us. That's just, yeah. They get the jobs that pay more. They pay male jobs more. They just do. It's just, yeah, they're valued more than us. Yep, that's true. That's the way it's always been. Don't tell me different, because I will argue with you on that one, because I'm a 53-year-old woman and I dang well know it. So, but it's changing. It's absolutely changing. It's been changing my entire lifetime, but I'm 53 and it still hasn't completely changed. So it's up to us to change it. It's up to us to look at it and say, okie dokie. So is it normal, or is it even possible for someone else to fix your life? No. I can flat out tell you no. It is not possible for another person to come into your life and fix it. They can't. How could they possibly? They could give you the motivation to fix your own life, that looking at that person, you might think, oh my God, they give me the will to be a better human being. They show me what I could be. And because I love them so much, I want to be better for them. Absolutely. But that's a decision you made inside of yourself. That is you serving you. When you do something to make your spouse even happier because you know it'll make them happy, you are doing it because you love them and you are answering something inside of yourself. This is inside of yourself. Everything that you do for other people is inside you. It's entirely for you, completely for you. It's totally for you. If everything you actually do for others is answering something inside of you and is actually for you, then you can change the way you do everything based on for you. Because if you do things based on your needs and what would make you happy and how you feel at that moment, and without an obligation to do something for another human being, you're actually making yourself happier. And when you make yourself happier, I have a better day. When you make yourself happier, your neighbor Myrtle has a better day. Your Uncle George has a better day, because they can feel your happy energy. Have you ever noticed that? When something awful is going on in the world, and something is always awful that is going on in the world, we can feel it because we are connected to each other, because we are a human race, all of us. And when we hurt each other, when we hurt ourselves, when we hurt ourselves, we hurt each other. We are that linked. So when we impose, not ridiculous, but arbitrary ideas on ourselves societally, we actually create a feeling of lack. We actually create suffering because we create an expectation. And suffering is born out of expectation. You suffer because you expected something different to happen. So because what you expected to have happen didn't happen, then we internalize it. Why didn't it happen? What didn't I do? Why did it work for Jen, but it didn't work for me? Well, because Jen's a different human being than you, and you might have different needs. And you might actually need to do things a little bit differently than other people. Of course you do, because you're you and they're them. And everything that you bring into your life needs to be for you. Now, I'm not talking about being selfish. I'm not talking about being self-centered. I am talking about being self-centered. I'm not talking about being selfish. To be selfish is to give to yourself and not give to others. To be self-centered is to give to yourself so others do not have to. Okay, now, don't just take my word for it. Try it. Try to do something completely and absolutely based on your needs. And try to give yourself the grace that you would give to another. If you don't feel like doing something social, if you don't feel, that's funny. What I just heard in my head is, if you don't feel like going to work today. That's a real big one, huh? That's a huge one. What if you hate your job? And every day you go to work, it's like you're dragging every limb of your body into your work. What do? Do you just quit going to work? Nope. Honestly, what I actually hear is you change your attitude. What a thing to say, huh? Change your attitude? Could it be you? Could it be that, not that your job sucks. Could be that your perspective on your job sucks. And maybe actually your job does suck. Maybe your job is horrible. Maybe it's the worst thing ever, but we all know that when something is horrible, when something isn't working in your life, when something actually agitates you, you brought it. You brought it to you. You brought it into your life. You didn't fall into it. You actually set out for it. So if you set out for this job and then you got this job and you realize, I hate this job. Maybe it's not the job. Maybe you're in the wrong job. But maybe it's not the profession. Maybe it's not the thing you're doing. Maybe, say you went and you trained, you became a teacher, and you're so excited you wanted to come and mold young minds. And then you got in the classroom and said, this is not what I expected from teaching. Teaching is not for me. This is not right. Maybe teaching in a classroom isn't right. Maybe you actually are a teacher and you know you're a teacher and you're answering that calling. And maybe when you teach folks, it needs to be done a little bit differently. Maybe when you teach folks, it needs to be in a Waldorf school kind of style. You need to actually have them lead with their own hearts. Maybe you need to look at it differently instead of saying, I'm a teacher, so that means I have to do this, and I have to do that, and I have to do this. I'm am a teacher. I don't teach in a classroom. I teach in a yoga studio, but I'm still a teacher, which it doesn't make me any less a teacher because I'm not in a classroom with children. I am still taking information, disseminating it in my brain, and spewing it out at human beings. That's what I do. And being a teacher means I'm just a teacher. Doesn't mean I have to be a teacher under other people's ideas of what a teacher is. Allow yourself to be yourself. Allow yourself to be different. Allow yourself to say no to things that do not actually align with who you are. Allow yourself to know that you do not have to be like anyone else you've ever met in your whole life. You can be just you. I have never met anyone like myself because I am the only one of me. 100%. And actually, I might be the only Bobbi Rowntree on the planet. I actually might be. If you know another Bobbi Rowntree, let me know, because I don't think there is one. I honestly do not think there is one. But not only is there not another Bobbi Rowntree, there is not another me, period. The way my psychic energy comes through is only me. The way my voice sounds is only me. The way my body looks is only me. This is me. Completely and absolutely, and I am nothing like anyone else. Well, okay, I'm a little bit like anyone else. I breathe, my heart beats, I blink, all those sorts of things. That's what I have in common with every human being on this planet. And there are a few little things, other things that I have in common, but nobody is 100% me. So, if nobody is 100% exactly the same as anyone else, why the devil do we decide that everyone has to do exactly the same stuff? Why? Why do we do that? And it's not even that everybody does go to school, get married, get the job, all that kind of stuff. Not everybody does that, but kind of they're meant to feel as though there is a loss in their life because they don't. They're meant to feel as though they're missing something. You do not have to get married. You already met the love of your life. The person that is going to change and make your life so much better is in the mirror. That's where she is. That's where he is. That's where they are. Because you are the love of your life. You are the orchestrator of everything that happens to you. And it's entirely up to you how you would like your life to go. You do have to do it like anybody else. As long as you're not hurting anyone, and as long as you are being a good human being, then the world's your oyster. Do what you need to do. Be you. Because if you're flying your freak flag, then your neighbor can feel like they can fly their freak flag. And then that neighbor can fly their freak flag. And then you got 3 wonderful little freaks living next door to each other and helping each other through their freakishism. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please let me know in the comments below. If you have a topic you would like me to cover, please let me know in the comments below. If you just want to comment on what we're talking about, let me know in the comments below. In fact, like and comment. That would be awesome if you did that. Yes, because we want these videos to move. I hope that you have a wonderful day today and that you actually serve your own self in this day.